I also like how now the Twitch chat actually goes automatically all the way up there instead of it being in the center now. I think that actually is kind of nicer.
You love me. You really love me.
Hey, Fruits.
Whoa. Dude.
Dot user, thank you for the Twitch Prime subscription. Wow, that's pretty quick. We literally just started, already got a subscription. Thanks, man.
Yay, thank you for subscribing.
Yes. You're like, I waited. Excellent, nice to have you here with us. Angel, nice to have you here too. Kayubi, welcome. Specs, welcome. You guys are all here early. 5 minutes early. Good on you, good on you. Beer, welcome. Earth, welcome to you. Team Retro, welcome. Link, welcome to you. As well as to you, Conduit, welcome. Froxy says, I'll join in soon, just finishing the Vive finger tracking integration. Awesome. Oh, so I guess Frox is working on getting that camera tracking set out, which that's going to be awesome. Which this is a very exciting time for us because now we have the brand new World UI, and I'm going to be showing that off a little bit when Frox gets inside here. Froxy says it's all working now. Nice. That seems really cool. Sedge, welcome. Hello, and Liz, welcome as well. Hi. Psycho, howdy. Nice to see you, Psycho. Love for Shifty. But yeah, I'm excited to hear about what testing Frox has going on for that Vive finger tracking integration. That if that works, I should be able to use my index with that same software. Oh gosh. Strange Dragon, welcome.
Yo, what happened?
I got exploded because Twitch exploded me.
Someone died.
No, I'm okay. Oh wow. Whoa.
Oh.
Snooper, thank you for all those gifted subs. It kind of messed it up in the chat though. Oh yeah, I think something happened though. I think something broke when that happened.
Yeah, I think it's because Fuchs updated the Twitch API recently, so I guess that must have.
Try to lean the chat real quick. Here, let's delete this real quick. Oh, there we go. Okay, it's just the chat. Yeah, I'll respawn it back out for you guys. Yeah, apparently right when we got all those gifted subs from Snooper, it gave us a little bit of lag there. But thank you so much for that, Snooper. I'll take lag any day of the way if it means that we get those gifted subs. Yeah, let me bring out Twitch chat again. There we go. Also, Akedge, thank you for the follow as well.
We got.
It's also saying redeemed testing. I don't know what that's about. Do you know what redeemed testing means?
Redeemed is you have channel points, and you can redeem them for various perks and stuff. So I think that's something that
this is something that's
Twitch
new.
is setting up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's one of the new parts of the updated Twitch API.
Okay, well, yes, everyone
So
redeem and chat.
points to redeem rewards.
Yes, redeem. Redeem, everyone. I kind of wish that it didn't have it for the redeem where it's everything in chat, but that's okay. Oh,
No, don't waste your points.
you don't waste your point. Wait, they can get better points?
Yeah, like once we actually set up effects and stuff.
Oh, okay, well then save up those points, you guys.
Yeah, because the points you get just by watching the stream and stuff.
Yeah, meanwhile, everyone's like, redeem test. Tess is like, I have so many points. Good, good, good. Right when Frox gets inside of here, though, we're going to be talking and discussing about the stuff that he's been implementing right now, and including this beautiful new Worlds UI. I'll even open it out real quick and show everyone what it kind of looks like. Let me go to my smooth POV, and then I'm going to enable out my rendered private UI. You can see this beautiful Worlds UI. You can just go from the home button to Worlds, and now we have it all completely redesigned and brand new, where we can just click on this and immediately go to featured worlds, immediately go to active sessions and join active sessions that are inside of the world, including ones for social worlds, games, art, tutorials, educational worlds, and even the worlds that you've created on your own. And everything would just display all worlds, including all active sessions. And I think it is planned to eventually have in between the featured and active sessions for a all submitted worlds tab, as well as a possible thing for favorited worlds coming too. Yeah. So really, really beautiful design. And you can even, another cool thing about it is you can actually peer into it and look into a world before even entering it. So this is one of Moki's worlds, and you can see they're doing logics right now. And you can just kind of look into the world without even entering it. Here we got some other people here, and I can just peer into the world. You can also click on this button to open up more settings. You can get the session orb and the session URL. You can also see who is your friends. Your friends will be highlighted as green. Non-friends will be highlighted as white. So yeah, and you can also join different sessions of that same world if there's multiple worlds open. So much, much better that we're now able to actually join active sessions all through here through our just main UI, which I think is really, really great. Yeah, just as saying, I am testing, yes. But yeah, that's a lot of what's done out with the World UI, including there's custom options and settings as well that you can mess around with for data sources and all that kind of stuff. But I would suggest more advanced users kind of messing around with these settings. But for the most part, it's mostly for world navigation and finding different worlds, and that's really what this kind of takes care of. Here, let me bring it back to the camera. Oop. There we go. Also hide my UI again, real quick. I think she's gonna jump on tomorrow and check it out. I might have missed some chat. Who's gonna be checking out? Also, Ark, thank you for the follow. Ark says, howdy Neos and viewers, I've come to nerd. Welcome. This is a perfect place to nerd out. Ager says, I love this community so far. Thank you so much for working closely with your players, and please keep being awesome. Oh, thanks, dude. Yeah, absolutely. We want to be 100% here for community and answer any and all of your guys' questions, as well as show out the new stuff that we got inside of here and talk about the future of Neos. Earthmark says, it's really is nice, makes it easier to find worlds. So nice I may not have to use anything about in the tutorial world besides pointing out to it. Yeah. And there's going to be a little bit few more improvements that I'm sure that will be done out with that section of the Worlds UI. But the exciting part is after this, we're going to be having the new framework for the Beppu 2 physics, which is kind of like a good stepping stone for our new physics engine that we're going to be getting here inside of Neos. Also, welcome, Vrux. Vrux is here with us.
Oh. I'm using the index right now.
Oh.
So much bass.
Oh, well, it sounds really good. Your microphone sounds pretty good.
Yeah, it's just a really good microphone. I wish there was a way to mush all the headsets together. And get the display from background, eye tracking, and the rest of index.
Hey, you sound really good. Here, I'll even switch you to broadcast. Start talking again.
Hello?
Yeah, that
I'm
sounds
saying
good.
something.
Yeah, that sounds really good.
Blah 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 blah.
Also, Metal Fang, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Neos Twitch channel. Good to have you guys here. We have quite a lot of people here in chat now, and we're already 5 minutes in for the stream. We started at 5 minutes early, so I think we can kind of get started and kind of talk since also Frox is here. Did you happen to have any videos on that Vive hand tracking testing that you were doing?
Yes.
Cool.
One of the reasons I'm using the index right now is because the Vive is actually messing with the camera, like it keeps failing, so I switched to this one.
Oh,
But this is also like another reason I'm integrating in the first place is because
Here, come on camera,
in the
boy.
latest
There you go. Cool.
in their like latest version of the SDK, they actually added support for the index headset. So like if you have index or if you have the Vive headset, the finger tracking should work.
Yeah, I cannot wait to try out the finger tracking with my index headset. And this isn't the finger tracking like based off controllers, you guys. This is finger tracking based
Yeah.
off the cameras using a different software to make it so then we can get it so it's
Just your
working on.
hands.
Yeah, and it would just be just for your hands. So why don't we play that out? And this is all brand new. I'll go to smooth POV so I
There's
can
like
see
a
a little
test.
bit.
So see, I'm not like holding any controllers. Essentially, my controllers on the floor, and I'm just like moving my hands in front of the headset. It's not as good as the leap motion right now, but they did make like a fair bit of improvements in size right there. So hopefully we'll keep
That's
trying
still
to improve
pretty
it.
good just for the cameras on for Vive
Yeah.
and Index.
Yep.
Because it has finger spread though as well, yeah?
Yeah, it does finger spread.
Nice. Yeah, look at that. Plus, I'm sure you could still interact with stuff and grab and pinch onto things without using your
Yes.
controller, right?
You can grab stuff, and you can like touch stuff like if it's configured
Oh,
like to
wow.
accept like touches.
That is so freaking cool.
It also like help because like we already have like generic like framework for like we support big motion, we support like the index and all sorts of like finger tracking motions. This essentially plugs very nicely into that existing system.
Yep, and Specs asks, can I
I'm
use this
trying.
with index cameras or is it a Vive only thing? You can use this with index cameras.
This is tested with index, so
yeah,
I'm
this
using
is
index in this video.
Yeah, this is the index.
And it works with full body avatars as well.
That's so cool.
You see there's the spread.
And you know, for something for like a little side thing, it's something that normally, you know, would never be able to usually wear. Like now it's like you can actually make use of those cameras and start getting in almost like a leap motion type tracking. So when I'm sure it's not as accurate, but it still seems pretty good.
Yeah. I'm really happy like they actually like included index because like that's not their headset, but ironically that's like what actually made me decide to integrate it, and we had a lot of people from the community ask for it, so it's a pretty good one because like it's essentially software that like works with both the Vive headsets and the index. So
Yep,
it gets
and
much
just
visual
remember if you
coverage.
do have like an Oculus headset or another headset, you can always get a leap motion and use that, and I'm sure that would work very well for finger tracking as well inside of Neos.
Oh yeah, the motion's like fully supported.
Now, here's the question. Are you able to use this finger tracking and make it vice versa with the controllers too while you have the controllers in your hand? Or is it only when you have like your hand view?
Only in hand view. Like technically it does track like when I have the controllers, but the hand it just becomes like garbled mess. So
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
What is it gonna do? It's actually what I was like doing just before I jumped in. I did like just use the same system from Leap Motion when if your hand is on the controller, it's gonna use the fingers from the controller.
Nice.
So like if you want to use this one, like you put your controllers down and then you have like your hands in front of you.
There we go. Well, awesome. That looks really, really impressive in the fact that we're able to have, you know, that software now working out inside of Neos. That's going to be really great for anyone who has cameras on the front part of their headset, actually being able to use those cameras now for finger tracking here inside of Neos.
Hey.
So, really, really cool. I always see this like testing. So how do they redeem this out? Because this is pretty new to me on my side too. Do they get something for it for a certain amount of points?
No, they just get to say redeem this thing, and they lose points.
Oh,
Well, essentially, like when you like keep watching the channel, there's like you gain like channel points, and we can actually start like customizing it because
redeem testing?
yes, everyone can redeem this thing
I'd
if
like
you
to
have the
keep my
points.
testing now, please. Thank you. I have one voucher.
Ark says, I heard NVIDIA stated pre-baking textures is a thing of passively reference series. How will this affect Neo's performance usability if true?
It kind of depends. Like I'm not sure which part like they're like referring to. They're like referring to like the newer like rendering methods that might take a fair bit like time to integrate. If it's just like the like boost like in the performance of the GPU itself, that helps a lot.
Specs
But I
says,
think it will kind of depend
Yeah. Specs is also asking, does this work with something like Quest? I wouldn't imagine so, right?
No, unfortunately. At least not that I know of.
Yeah, because
Also on Quest... Oh. I'm using like the index right now. On the Quest you can actually use like... actually let me bring this, because somebody was asking about this in the devlog as well. You can use the ALVR, and it actually works with
as
Neos.
well. It works quite well.
Oh, virtual.
Tried it the
Yeah,
other
that's
day. I was like, oh wait, my hands work. What?
Ooh.
So wait, does this camera, is this camera a second party software? Like, because Angel is asking, do we have to install anything? Or is this a Neos exclusive?
You don't have to install anything. Like, essentially if you have like Vive or you have Index set, it'll work. I'll probably make it disabled by default. At least at start, like we'll see like because I
Oh,
don't
and then
want
you can
people,
choose to enable it?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, then that will
It's
make
like
it
this
super
one-
easy.
It's gonna be just the cheat box.
That's pretty good for finger
This is
spread.
using this is using Quest.
Oh, that's the Quest hand tracking?
Yeah, there's the Quest and they're using LIVR.
Oh, so
like,
that's the
like
ALV.
Eric said, like it also works with the virtual desktop.
There you go. So I guess there has been hand tracking using Quest and Neos. Because that is
Yes.
Neos right there.
It does, unfortunately doesn't like coordinated.
Just boosted Neos with Virtual Desktop and the hands just worked. Didn't need to do anything on Virtual Desktop or in Neos, it just moved just there.
It essentially works through the SteamVR because Neos like when it sees that SteamVR has like a skeleton, it just takes that. And the ALVR like it takes like the Quest skeleton and translates it into like a SteamVR one. We can like support it
Nice.
natively though, like with like Link, because they would like also like under FS because they would like also like increase like the spread and the usability.
Yeah, I definitely know that people that have an Oculus have definitely have cameras on them, and they've been researching out that finger tracking technology. So integrating that inside of Neos, and the people that do have that headset, we can get it working for them. Yeah, and Ark says also, I think they mean baking is either unneeded or possibly some sort of post-processing that makes it obsolete. They were vague, hard to be sure.
They might be like talking about like the ray tracing functionality because like that lets you like compute a lot of the stuff that we like normally bake like ahead of the time and like achieve like those kinds of effects like without like those techniques, but I'm not too sure either. So
It sounds like hyperbole, kind of the case of, oh yeah, before you needed to save power by doing all this beforehand, but now it's so powerful you can do all this at runtime instead. It's a case of,
Yeah.
yes, but not everyone has a 3090, so you still need to take everyone else into account. So,
yeah, it's also always a thing. Plus, people like
I
might
want a
end up, like, using,
3090.
like,
Sounds good to me. I'll get that for when I get
Well-
eye tracking.
I like some games like they end up like using kind of like hybrid approaches where like they like still bake some stuff, but then they are like they use like these new techniques if they're available like on the hardware to like make the effects like more dynamic. So they like end up like kind of doing both.
Yeah. And I'll bring out my UI so then it's kind of like behind me, so then I can just keep it open and have it there for you guys to see, just so then we can really show off like this nice looking Worlds UI. Oh, hello, Rue.
You love me. You really love me.
My balloon.
the main reason next I'm looking forward to people buying 3090s and 3080s, is then they can finally visit my worlds.
Really love me.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Freaky says, what do you think about Facebook Horizon? Are you afraid it could shadow Neos? No. That's all that I have to say about that. There's a lot more complexity to Neos.
Oh, yeah. It's kind of like their like system is essentially kind of like stylized like to a specific like social environment, but like with Neos we're trying to like make it more into like more like general game engines. Like you can use it like for businesses, you can use it for education, you can use it to have fun, and essentially like intermix everything. So it's kind of like different like philosophy and different like approach and
Yeah.
Different audiences too.
Also, I want to mention for the World's UI, kind of your, hey Rue, could you Just move, just right, or even right, yeah, right there is good too. But on the Worlds UI, I just wanted to also say that you can even type in whatever you'd like. So let's say if we want to like search up for a club world, we can go now to this top search bar, type in CLU and B, and then all the different worlds that are club worlds start popping up. And it's really good for this search for functionality because it's very snappy and quick now with how it searches up things. We can even just type in the letter C, and it's all gonna find every single world that has the letter C in it. And if we want to go to other worlds, we can click on this one I got. Let me actually turn on my lasers so you guys can see that. You can click on this arrow icon and it swaps between the different pages. So you can go to each single section for all of the worlds. So I wanted to be sure to show that off on stream, as well as the fact of how to join worlds and how you can see what users are inside of there just by clicking this drop down menu. And I really recommend that if this is brand new to you guys and you haven't seen this UI yet, definitely check it out and test it out and try it out and tell us what you think about it, and we can improve it for anything that it needs for improvement wise. And after this, we'll be focused out on the Beppu physics, right?
I think so. I'm like 100% sure yet. Like I'm still like doing like some of the like stuff just like piled up in the meanwhile.
Yeah, but for the most part, that's our general direction of where we're hoping that we're going to be going for getting in the framework of that going. So, but definitely come inside of Neos and check out this really beautiful World UI, and it is going to be great now that we can actually join people through active sessions now without having to use the world orbs. We can now do it all through our UI. And yeah. I want to show that. Let me get up to on some questions. How does Neos handle Frankenstein setups like Index headsets and Oculus controllers? Well, I haven't really tested them out on my side too much, but
you can technically like run it, I think, like if you force it to run through SteamVR, but like it's probably not gonna be a good experience. It might require like some fussing around just to get it to work.
Yeah, there's software called OpenVR Space Calibrator, which can be used to mix different platforms, but it's generally preferable to use all stuff from the same platform just because it's a lot simpler and easier to set up.
Yeah.
Mm.
You could do this.
Isn't that something like we recommend?
Setup. Of course, you can't use the Rift controllers or Rift S controllers on their own, can you? They need the headset. Whereas you could use the Rift S and Index controllers.
If you had like
Not
the
the other way
original
around.
ones with like the base stations on
Or
Oculus.
camera setup. Yeah.
Also, Specs is saying follow-up question for the face. Are you worried about that they'll pull some? They did with Instagram, basically threatened to crush you if you weren't bought by them. I don't think so. Like, I don't think that we're going to be. I don't think that we're going to be intimidated out by any company because we're not going to be selling Neos, and it's not a thing that's for sale, and we're not wanting to even have out any equity. We want to have the more equity to ourselves when it comes to Neos, and I think we're very firm on that. And here's the thing about a company is once they start inquiring you about something, usually they think inside of their head that they're going to be profitable from that. So if a business is coming at you, inquiring about buying your business, they're thinking in their head, well, 3 or 4 years, I'm going to be making all that money back. So, that's where the stage of Neos, when it becomes very serious and when there becomes, I'm sure, a whole big economy inside of here, and there's a whole bunch of stuff happening for VR, and there's going to be, I'm sure, a lot of people using it, but 100% we would not ever do any kind of agreement now with them. Yeah, and Conway also says, I doubt Facebook would probably even try to buy Neos. Yeah, probably not. That's kind of really theoretical. Rico also says, I like the simple visuals, but hell nah. I think what they said about it is being like halfway being Rec Room and VRC. Yeah, for the Horizon. Anarch says, me and my sister are disabled and trying to find the perfect setups for us. I also highly prefer removable batteries for the same reason. Understandable.
That's a really good thing about like those controllers. The Windows mixed reality ones also have like removable like batteries. I think like they don't last as long, like at least not in my experience. But
and Shorty asks, so with the HP G2 releasing supposedly this month, will the G2 work on Neos? I believe so, because we are getting them ordered out ourselves. Like Frox is getting one. Including Rue is getting one pre-ordered, and I think that that's going to be a really amazing headset when it comes out for visual clarity and for it being a little bit cheaper than an Index. So it's really going to get people to hopefully get into VR, and it also has kind of Oculus-style controllers in a way. So seems really good on my side.
I want to make sure like it works, like if there are any problems. It might need like some adjustments like for the controllers, but I don't think there will be like any like big issues with it.
Yep, I think right when Frox is able to get his hands on it, he'll be able to get it probably integrated that same day, knowing him. So that's the one great thing about Neos is we're always trying to integrate and have more hardware. That's our big thing here, is like getting any hardware that's available for consumers, really able to have that hardware be usable here for VR and trying to be on the cutting edge of that technology.
That's why we're also getting the finger tracking now with the Vive.
Yep, and not this one, but I can't wait to try that. I'm guessing is going to be on the next build, right?
Yeah, I heard pretty much already. I just need to like pull a few more chains and push the build. I might even like do it after the end of the stream.
Yeah. So oh well, that would be really cool just to like see it out. But even on next stream, you guys, I can definitely show off more of that finger movement and show that on stream as well as some other things for next week.
Yes.
Angel says Neos is one of those rare gems of a standalone masterpiece, and it shall be like that forever. Oh, thanks, Angel. Very kind of you to say that. Yep. But yeah, good questions so far. They're definitely complex questions.
Yes.
Probably some questions that do definitely pertain to Neos. My message is still at the top there, Sanny. Let's see where you're at.
Yes, they highlighted. No, like
Oh.
literally the top.
Oh, it's me.
Maybe so when you highlight their message, it goes to the top.
Oh.
Actually, there's another thing you can spend your points on. You can highlight their message.
Oh, cool. If you spend your points on highlight messages, you guys definitely will be able to see it more often now. Then.
Yes. Another thing to spend channel points on. I was actually thinking that because like one thing that was added this week is the Twitch API was updated. So like now it shows like when you like redeem like rewards, it shows follows. Those were like broken before. And also like for example if there are like any we need to take like moderation action and you remove a message, it will remove it here as well. It will essentially say like message removed.
Nice.
Plus, for the awards, we can actually read them out with logic. So you can get like an impulse when somebody redeems an award. You can like read what they redeemed, how many points they used, if they like included in a special message. So what we could do is, for example, tie some of the channel commands that are normally like for subscribers, tie them to awards. So for example, you can redeem like use like I don't know like 1,000 channel points to explode somebody.
Sounds fun to me. Also, Shady, thank you for the follow as well. And we got some highlighted messages. Spec said, "Hey, hello, I'm up here," and Theo went, "Oh."
Actually, I can show like what it looks like. Oh, let me go to my mod view.
Yep, it's all live, all right here, you guys. Twitch chat. You can also, here's the nice thing, is anyone who's a streamer, they can also make complete use of this. We have this inside of the Neos Essentials with all the Twitch chat commands, and you can even create and customize and make your own ones as well for your specific Twitch channel. So this isn't just proprietary to the Neos channel, but anyone has access to being able to use this sort of stuff.
I cannot do it for my own messages. Can somebody post like a message that you don't mind me deleting? Oh, there we go. See, Theo said message didn't delete, so I'm gonna delete it. And go.
Oh, and it says message removed. Yeah.
Oh no, it's not a message.
Yeah, it actually updates the message removed now on the Twitch chat. So if there's like, yeah, wow,
There we go.
Cool.
I don't like that. It was like it's kind of like a detail, but I know like a few people ask for it. So when I was
I
think
that's really smart, because sometimes people say, you know, offensive stuff in chat sometimes, and then you're able to immediately have access, and it's also updating out live on here too, which is so great. The Real Dragon Girl, thank you for the follow. Thank you so much. We're surprisingly, you guys, we're already getting close to our 3,000 follow goal. I'm not even sure what we're going to be doing for that sort of event, but I'll be thinking about it probably once we reach 2,000. I'll be thinking about what we can have done out for that. What about deleting a highlighted message? Only if you want us to.
For that one, I've got a thing.
Oh.
I've got a special thing. There we go.
There you go. Now it's deleted. That works.
Oh, that's ruining my eyes, that sense of bar.
I'm deleted. Oh, what? Oh no.
Oh,
The wrong
you
thing.
touched it too, Frux.
Completely out.
Oh, Frux.
How weird.
There we go.
Whoa. Okay, well, let me get my Pog Popper. My Pog Popper. Because this is an exciting time and we should celebrate that we got the new World UI.
Wow.
Woo! Pog. Wilson says, I would love to join you guys, but I only have a Quest and my PC is not VR capable. Do we have an estimated time for the public Quest beta? When it's public?
There's not one, unfortunately, right now. It's kind of like we're focusing essentially like main effort like into the disc version of Neos, so like the Quest one is more of a like big seed. So it's really hard to say like when it will change.
Really love me.
Well,
So Galaxiel says, but my Pog Popper has so much more particles. Oh no. When too many particles and you'll start dropping frames.
Duplicate about 50 of them and then use it. The perfect Pog Popper.
Freaky says, what is the perfect for enjoying all hardware capabilities of Neos, like hand tracking, eye tracking, and full body tracking, etc.? I would definitely recommend if you're planning on getting an eye track. Try not to do that. Okay, it's really loud, boy. What I would suggest I would probably suggest any of the RTX cards as for a GPU, and anything like maybe an i7 8700K for the CPU.
Yeah, get the new 3000 series.
Yeah, you could get that too, but the reason why I'm suggesting RTX for eye tracking is because once we have a possible foveated rendering here inside of Neos, you can benefit from that a lot more through an RTX card. So
well, the 3000 ones will work with it as well.
Yeah, the
Might be
3000s
like a
too.
better, like priced.
Yeah, so maybe even get a
Go
3000
for
series.
the highest graphical card you can get.
But anything that's below that series for the RTX would probably not work that well for eye tracking. But if you just want it just for VR, I mean, I'm running off a 1080 Ti right now, and I don't have any eye tracking, and I'm able to use full body and able to use finger tracking with the index. So if you don't mind not having the eye tracking portion actually being able to benefit a lot from the foveated rendering, then I would just recommend, maybe get like a 1080.
I mean, the card that does the minimum VR requirement, I think, is a 980.
Yeah, but even for Neos, we recommend like a 1060 for min. It's
It also
1060.
depends because like it will depend like a lot on the content.
Yeah, I mean, you could actually be on a really low-end PC and just be in an absolute empty world and just like run pretty well just in an empty world. But if you were in a world like this with a bunch of complex avatars and everyone is, inside of this whole environment that's massive, yeah, they're probably going to be running very bad.
Plus, you can get away with a lot more in screen mode as well. It runs my Intel NUC quite well in screen mode, so yeah.
Galaxy's like, that's kind of
like checks like they're on like on a like GTX 750 Ti for a while. It wasn't like a smooth experience, but it's kind of around.
Yep, Kono says, I tried Neos on an Intel HD 4000 graphics and got 15 frames per second on local home. Well, that's not surprising, because it's a Intel HD 4000. Yeah,
I'm surprised it runs. I know,
I'm
it's
surprised
like
that you're
all,
even
like...
able to get VR itself running.
Oh.
I'm guessing that was on desktop. I don't think that card's VR.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's what I was about to say. If he was in VR with it, I was like,
I mean, no frames.
Not in
mate.
VR stream mode. Okay, fair enough, Conduit. I was like VR. I was like, how did you even open it?
I know like some of the like old ones like they don't even work because they don't like support the DirectX 11.
Yeah. I like how this went into question for Neos and it just went into like all these different like graphical options questions.
AMD FX 8050. I used to have that card, but that card is a bit. That CPU is a bit. Now. That CPU is a bit.
You really love me.
Love you, Frux. VR mode with low FPS is nauseous. I do have to agree. Anytime when it goes below 15 frames for me, I wouldn't say it's nausea-inducing for me, but I would definitely say that's uncomfortable for my eyes. I actually never get nauseous in VR. The best thing that I do for nausea is just take some like ginger capsules or yeah, and just do that.
There's also like people like have like a lot of like there's like a whole spectrum of like sensitivity to things because I know
Yeah.
like a lot of people like they have like what's the word, like resistance, but there's also like people like who need like more smoother experience, and there's also like people at the other extreme like who are like nauseated by even the smallest things. Actually, I
Yeah,
had, like,
there's even people that can run at 90 frames per second. They're still nauseated. So
I had like I was like working like on a demo like a while back, like called Sightline, and I know like I had like one report like of user, and it was like a demo designed to be like super safe, like it would run smooth. It would like you would just like sit down and it would just like look around. And I got like somebody complaining that like they were nauseated because there was grass and the grass was like waving slightly, and this was apparently what made them really sick. So,
fair
like,
enough.
If we find like all kinds of
Yeah, it's like
extremes as well.
that might have been like it was enacting upon their like ocean waves kind of like motion sickness kind of like thought or feel, which, you know, it's understandable and it's different for each person. You never know how it's gonna be. Made some candy gingered at home, real good, and it helps it when you get sick. Yeah, Specs Fox, I agree. What are you saying?
I mean, there's an initial when you get in VR initially, anyone will have no motion sickness no matter what, because you have to disconnect what your eyes are seeing to what your body can feel, and it's like
Yeah.
When I initially got on VR a couple months ago, I couldn't be on it for more than 20 minutes. I felt absolutely disgusted to be on it for longer. But now
Well,
I'm talking in like 4 hours.
Yeah, I would say that actually that makes it a lot better for me is the accuracy at which you're getting the movement inside of here. When I look at my hand and I'm moving it about, everyone else is seeing it real time moving that way, as well as when I'm, you know, matching up and equating it to my own hand. I notice there's a lot of other VR games where when it doesn't match up with your body, that's when I have this like form of like self-dissolution, and it really messes up with your head. But thankfully Neos doesn't have that problem with like the IK's tracking, where it's so accurate and responsive that it makes it really feel, you know.
Yeah, that is very true. Which I honestly do like that.
Yeah.
Why is the Valve Index so responsive though? In different other games, the Valve Index barely responds, but this one. Ooh.
Yeah, very good.
Yep.
I will say, like, all things that I have so far, just pretty much want a setup for it to actually work. It pretty much was seamless to just pull in, because I also have the Vive Pro Y, and pretty much every avatar works out of the box with it.
Oh, definitely.
So,
Also, thank you so much, Snooper, for the 1,050 bits. Mwah. Snooper also gave us a whole bunch of gifted subs. I wasn't able to count how many. I think it was 5 gifted subs I gave out, but anyone who got gifted subs from him, definitely thank him. And also, he's given us quite a bit for helping out here on the stream. So, thank you, Snooper. Thank you for that. Kono says Boneworks is one of the worst things to start with if you're new to VR. Probably, yeah. Yeah,
definitely. Honestly, if you're gonna start with anything, start with something simple.
Yeah.
Doesn't have that actually, this might
100%. I would even recommend. I would say the best anything where it's a stationary kind of like it. Like let's say,
Beat
yeah,
Saber
yeah,
or
like
something
yeah,
of
Beat
the
Saber
sort.
is one of those.
I tried
One of
Beat
those
Saber
games.
initially.
It's one of those games where you can
It
pop
is
somebody
one of those
inside of like a
games
headset
you
and
can-
anybody can do it because they're
Yeah.
just hitting boxes.
Well, that's what the lab's designed for, isn't it, really? It's a bunch of different small interactable environments where you don't have to move around much.
The live stream.
Right. And then once you get used to it, and venture out into games that you use a movement to get around, and you will get used to it. It does.
For some
Okay,
reason,
I know
yeah,
for
like-
me, it took like a week to get used to it at the beginning. I still couldn't do that if I wanted to. I would get dizzy.
for some
Until-
reason,
until they do
I always
combos, like-
traditional locomotion. I hate teleportation. I don't know why, but teleportation throws me so off. It makes me so sick.
Same here.
Thanks. Also, Lucas the Dragon says Neos has helped me get over my smooth churning hitches. Well, great.
Well,
I
that's
always recommend that people at least try to get used to smooth churning because it's a lot more immersive. In mice, I've been the snap churning.
Yeah, definitely.
The snap turning just feels so unnatural and it makes me throw up a
Yeah,
lot
the
faster.
only time I can say that that wouldn't be a problem is if you had something that you could use to suspend the wire on your headset. Then you wouldn't even need the turning at all.
Oh, so we have a great question here in chat. What kinds of physics interactions are you planning to implement? Rigid bodies, soft bodies, full-time fluid simulations? Question mark. So the physics engine that we're planning on implementing is Beppu 2,
I love doing
Physics?
It's such a good thing.
so version 2,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
And
well,
I-
it's pretty much like a rigid body simulation engine. Like you can kind of emulate soft body physics, like by using like lots of like rigid bodies and like applying them on something like a deformed like cloud or something like
So
that.
kinda like cloth in a way.
Well,
When did you
it's like not natively supported for that one. It would be like separate thing. But generally, like the approach is like if you want like cloud simulation, is to like use like simplified simulation. It's kind of similar like to the dynamic bonds. Because like the dynamic bonds, they're sort of like what's the word? They're kind of like a simplified like physics simulation that's like focusing just on the behavior of the dynamic bonds, and it lets them to be much more like much more performant and much easier like to work with. Clothing like in
Yeah.
games like is oftentimes like done that way as well, like where it's not like two-way interaction, but it's like one way where like the cloth is being affected by just a few specific like
Yeah,
bodies.
definitely.
For
Yeah.
fluid simulation,
Is that the dynamic bones are basically simulating physics, even though they are themselves not.
Hang on a sec.
well, it's essentially like a simple like oh no. They're pretty much like a spring physics. So like it's spring physics like combined with for like the interaction. It's like a fabric solver. So it is like at the core like it is the same algorithms you would have in a physics engine, but it's just like one of them and it's like used like in a very specific scenario that way like it doesn't have to like worry about all the other stuff, resolving collisions with everything, and it just makes it more performant. But like the underlying math is more or less the same. It's just like the dynamic bonds, like they're like a small subset of like physics. They're like specialized.
Yeah, that actually does make a lot more sense.
Okay, I'm back.
Yeah, welcome back.
And Brooke, shut up. Yeah, someone was knocking because they thought that they heard my voice, and they were like, "Do you need something?" And I was like, "No."
Yes, I am talking.
Oh.
That's what comes out of my mouth.
No, they actually thought that they heard me inside of their room. They said they think that's a ghost, so they're scared.
Well, you shouldn't be the ghosts. Some of them are nice, some of them are.
That's what they're thinking, but I said, "Nope, I was here during my stream," and I said,
Yeah,
"Shoo shoo,"
well,
and they shoo shooed.
you are,
So
Shoot them
you are
away.
doing a stream.
Hugo says accidentally opened up the stream. Well, welcome, Hugo. Ark says, does the UI include any usability options for colorblind / photosensitive, etc. users? Have been shown some standalone options for some of this. We do have that option kind of for the lasers, so then people can actively see the lasers who are colorblind, because they have like little dots that go through them. But I don't think that we have I don't think that we have an option for colorblind mode for the UI quite yet.
it kind of depends like what kind of issues are people having with. Like we're trying to like take into consideration when we get like any feedback, and we've got like some interesting feedback on our GitHub. I think it's like we essentially depend for people like who are collaborating like to provide feedback, like what are they having trouble with, like what needs improvement and so on. So if you're having any trouble like with the UI, with any kind of like condition, you can like go essentially to our GitHub and like make a topic about it, or find if it's like a topic and add to it. That will help us a lot, and then we can like address any of the problems.
Yeah, and I'll say that the physics from Angel, like what Angel is saying, I'll say with the Beppu 2 physics, they'll be quite similar, because we'll have like rigid body physics, and we'll be having, you know, a lot more that we can do out with the physics engine that grows in a much more considerable way than the version that we're using right now. And it's, I think the biggest thing once we get the framework itself is going to allow for a lot more optimization for Neos.
It's not really like it's not really the version though. Like we could technically integrate like full physics right now with the version of the physics engine we have right now, because it's a full rigid body physics engine, so it has pretty much all of the capabilities that like we need. But the new version is a complete rewrite that has like major optimizations, and it's like
so you're waiting basically until all that one is finished to implement it.
It's already finished. Like it's ready to be integrated. It's just like when it becomes our like main focus, because like we need to put a time integrating, upgrading to that one, and then once we have like that integrated, I can like start like integrating the actual like rigid body dynamics.
Yep, it's first the framework of getting the Beppu 2 framework physics inside here. So that won't. So even though that Frox will be working on that, that doesn't mean that immediately right when that framework is inside here, we're gonna start having like throwable stuff or anything like that. Oh my gosh.
Oh, no. Not at all.
Boy, we're gonna have to make this testing. We're gonna have to make this testing thing not do that, because it's like it's
just testing.
I know, but I really don't want it in the chat.
Testing.
You're gonna have to make me a you're gonna have to make me a version of chat that doesn't show testing.
No, we just remove the testing, or we make it very expensive.
Sure, that too. We can make it really expensive.
We actually do that.
Oh, Theo says, "Oh, sorry, that was me." Okay, no problem. I was like, what the heck happened?
Yeah, so I wasn't actually in the chat at the time, so I was like, where did that come from?
Kono says, I looked up Beppu physics and it looks really nice. Yep, and we're going to be having the V2 of Beppu physics, and I think this is going to make it for options that definitely, we'll have better character colliders, we'll have collisions for, like, let's say racing games or other fun stuff like that, you know, tennis, other types of things that just have physics.
The overworld itself should have collision that gets implemented.
Yep, you'll be able to toss around objects and throw around stuff using, but this is, but this might be a little bit
I
of
would imagine, like, the dynamic bones on your avatar should be able to interact with the world.
Yeah, you can.
That won't happen. No, like that's actually something that like won't happen just by the physics engine, because like the part of the dynamic bones is like they're designed to be like highly performant. That way, like they essentially have constrained like interactions. If you wanted to like make like ones that interact with the environment, you could build them using the physics engine, but it's gonna have much bigger performance impact. So like it's so
you'll still be able to. You probably will still be able to do it,
So-
but not everyone will have something like that turned on. It won't be on by default, is what Frox is saying.
So basically, there'll be two options to it.
Well, a physics engine is like a general physics engine, so you can essentially like you can use it the way you would use it in a game engine to like build a lot of like complex stuff, including something that pretty much behaves as dynamic bones but has like interactions with the environment. But like it is all the more like expensive performance-wise that way.
And
Yeah, definitely.
And Ark says, is the new physics system expect to have a performance impact? Absolutely, 100%. It's going to be quite a useful update for performance. And will cards with physics chips be useful? I'm not...
No. Well, there's actually a problem with physics that runs on the GPU, is that like it's mostly used just for visuals, because when you simulate something on GPU, like you essentially need to like you need like have the CPU send like the data that needs to be simulated, and the GPU does simulation. But for general physics, like you actually need to get data back. Like you need to get like when something collides with something, you need to like get the position, so you can, for example, stream it over
So it's a
network.
feedback loop,
And having
basically.
like that way, like two-way of like interaction, it's super expensive on performance-wise. So generally in games, when you have physics that runs on the GPU, it's only visual. It's like one way. So essentially, it's just for some like visual effects, but it's
Yeah.
not used for any of the like actual like interaction physics. Would that make sense?
But the general ones will be running on the CPU,
Yes.
which
yeah,
will
yeah.
basically be a back and forth.
No, that one it doesn't have to touch the GPU at all. So essentially, it all stays like on the CPU.
Right, but it'll both receive the data from the world and applications that have been made to it. It will be displayed.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty much like interacting like all the interactions in the world. Like you can even get like collision events. So you can like build behaviors on top of that, and
Yeah.
like the world.
sounds for like ragdoll.
Yeah.
And you get
Flop,
like
flop, 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 flop. Will the physics stuff be multi-thread or single-threaded?
Multi-threaded. Even the one that we are using right now, it's like heavily multi-threaded. So like, yeah, that's pretty much it. Like in general, like the physics engine Beppo, like it's designed like to gain a lot of like performance from multi-threading. So it's kind of like in its nature.
My controller going up? Back? Also, I want to remind people the event that we were advertising last week, the Metaverse Maker Competition, that is going on right now. So if you want to enter it and start up in building a world or building a character or building an item for that competition is going on right now, and it'll be over at the beginning of October. So definitely get in your submissions and start working on it today. And if you are going to be entering it, because it runs all the way from September 1st all the way to October 1st, 2020. And if you want more information on it, it's under the Communities tab, under the Discord for discord.gg/NeosVR, and it's labeled as MMC-2020 if you need more information on that. So just want to be sure to also get that plug because it is live right now and you can start creating for it. And there's lots of cash prizes, and there's cash prizes of upwards of $2,000.
That is a wow.
Hazel Panda says, are you guys going to be making a tutorial for new players anytime soon? 100%. We really want to, right now we've been focusing out on that meta movie project and getting that for the Venice Art Festival. Wait, 1 second, dude, I gotta answer a question.
Okay.
Okay. But yeah, 100% we are going to be having for the Metaverse Training Center for new users when they go through there, that it's going to be a lot more polished out. Plus, a lot of the tutorial stuff that we have is very old. What were you going to say, dude?
Well, I mean, there is already like a group that I kind of working in that's actually doing that.
Yeah, and that's like a community-based...
making a tutorial.
Yeah, the community has also been actively making their own kind of like tutorial world to help users in the meantime as we're working on a beginning starting world.
Yeah.
So
it covers all the basics, so...
you can find that under when you go to Worlds. If you go to your Worlds tab... Here, let me turn back on my controller. I'll actually show it where you guys can find that community-based tutorial world, which would be under Worlds, and then go to Tutorials, and then Tutorial for Neo's Community-Made Earthmark. And then you can just click Start Session. And there's also the Metaverse Training Center, and that Metaverse Training Center, which is done out by us, is going to be getting a revamp and is going to be having a lot of updates to match out with this new UI and different stuff that's being done out with Neos. So there's always going to be that tutorial. And also, if you're Japanese, you can also use for the Neos East Japan tutorial world, which is quite useful and helpful if you are a Japanese user too. So yeah. Hopefully that answered your guys' questions. Let's make it 30 again. There we go. No problem, Hazel. Glad to be of service. As well as I think what would be a really good idea is if we had links to all of those tutorial worlds, possibly in our wiki too. Because that would be a really cool idea. Just click the link and hop and get teleported into the world if you had Neos installed.
Yeah.
Because we can take session URLs, and also if you're ever looking to bring other friends, definitely out of the most helpful things that you guys can do is just spread the word and talk about Neos and just like let your friends know about it. And the best way that I like doing that is just sending them a URL invite and telling them to just install Neos. So have them install it, give them a URL, it hops them immediately to you, and then you're able to hang out with your friend and teach them about Neos.
Right, yeah.
Angel says that video is insane. Is Neos going to work as smooth with so many physical objects? I think it'll be pretty optimized.
Yeah, the physics engine is gonna be optimized by like itself. There's always like an overhead like when you integrate in like a game engine because like it will depend like on a fair bit of factors. It will like depend on like what kind of environment you have you have the physics interacting with. It will depend on like how much other stuff you have in the world because like everything kind of like takes away from like the CPU budget. And one thing that's also going to affect it heavily within context of Neos is networking, because if you have physics, it actually needs to be synchronized over network, and then that adds like a fair bit of overhead. So, well, I'm not like 100% sure, but I think I'll probably have like a different like ways of operation. So you could actually have physics that's like a pure local, that's just for visual stuff. Like if you want to have like something like burst into like into objects and like disappear, that doesn't really need to be synchronized. So for that, like you can afford a lot of items. But if you want physics that everybody can kind of interacting with, then it needs to have that network synchronization. So like the simulation pretty much stays consistent, and for that, like that
most
overhead
of it
will
be done on the server. Like most of the simulation part be done on the server side.
Generally, like, you don't want to do it just on the server because that introduces latency. So like if you, for example, like let's say you have a cube and you push it, it will like depend on your ping how long like you will how long it will take before you see the cube react, and doesn't like feel to do. So generally the approaches are where like you simulate the physics on everyone's end, but you use like corrections, and essentially like so if the simulation sort of like diverges, it'll like correct the position. There's another approach that's a fair bit more tricky and doesn't work too well with like multi-threading, and that's using sort of like a simulation lockstep. It does introduce some latency, and essentially that's like where you make sure the physics simulation is deterministic and you make sure it's always fed the same inputs. At that point you don't really need to synchronize the physics simulation itself, you just synchronize the inputs to it. And you know that the simulation will produce the same results on everybody's computer, but that one, it's not really good like for this kind of use. It has a lot of complications, like making sure like it actually works across different platforms, because even the tiny differences like in computations based on which CPU you are using can cause the simulation to diverge.
Yeah,
So,
and then that would cause a desync in the
yeah.
which nobody
Yeah.
really wants.
Oh yeah. Also, Nurlock is saying, is server hosting planned in the future for people with slow internet? Question mark.
Yes, we do want to offer like right now we offer like a headless server, so like you can like run it on your own like computer, or you can run it in the cloud. But we do want to like make that service a little more integrated, so there's actually like headless servers like automatically spun up in the cloud, and make it like more like into a service, so you don't like need to like really worry about like setting it up. But right now that's for the future.
Yeah, because right now all of the headless servers, you have to set them up manually, and you'd have to have a second computer in order to host it out. But yeah, the idea of us having one that's just proprietary to us that they can just like have as a paid service would be such a smart idea, because then people can host out a bunch of worlds for their friends or for other people. But right now, even the peer-to-peer connection is pretty good too.
Oh yeah, definitely. Although that is heavily dependent on where each and every person is.
Yeah.
I will say that. Because people that live very far away can kinda experience desyncing.
Yeah,
And
sometimes.
I've honestly witnessed that on my end, and it's like, oh.
Yeah, but it depends. It depends on each user's connection and what they're connecting out to for when it comes to the peer-to-peer connection. Also, Angel saying, Angel says, since back then in Gmod, I was always skeptic that physics and multiplayer could ever be combined and still seem almost real with no latency at all. Yeah. Well, I think the physics that we're going to be having inside here is going to open up a lot, mostly for our creatives, for people that really want to build out stuff using physics in different worlds that have those physics utilized, including maybe like zero gravity worlds, and really making good use of our zero G by actually being able to like toss around items in zero gravity and, you know, make fun games out of that, make
nice.
unique stuff out of it. Yeah.
Make like some sort of like target practice.
That's actually a lot of what that
earlier. Be able to build out sort of gigantic eccentric marble machines and just import any objects you want and just create these what are they called? Amazing machines? No, I can't remember what they're called.
Rube Goldberg or something like that.
Rube Goldberg, you got it right.
That was it, yeah.
love those
Just be able to
And then you parent yourself to the marble.
gigantic ones of those, just whatever you
become
want.
the marble.
You become
And it's like monkey
Doing
ball.
awesome, Will.
God,
Thank you
monkey
for
ball.
asking how we're doing. I always love how Will comes inside of here and always is asking us how we are, and I hope you're doing it really good as well, Will.
Rude Goldberg.
Can somebody make Monkey Ball in VR once we have physics?
Yeah, monkey ball. Let's go.
Yes.
I'd be
As long as
more
physics
than
is going
welcome
able.
to.
Will, so much. Thank you so much for the 50 bits too. Very kind of you. And Ark also has a question, I think. Is it currently possible to run a simple simulation Neos using logics like evolution simulations, X hashtag of 3D creatures versus X hashtag with different rules set for survival, quote unquote.
Yeah, there was actually I forget who exactly did it. Like it was one of the educators. They made like simulation of evolution with colors.
Ah,
And I think you actually did a stream for it like a while back. I can see if I can find it because it was really cool.
Yeah, Freaky also says we could remake Echo VR. In a way, yeah. I mean, people could make their own space-style game experiences or other things. I mean, we're already technically kind of doing that with the Meta Movie project, but people can do them on their side for community-based worlds that could make use of that, as well as just make use of any games that would require physics, which most games do. So,
Yeah.
I think someone did a survival simulation, right?
Yes.
In a way, yeah.
I found it.
Yeah.
I found it. I'm importing now.
Texture says, what's physics timeline? We don't really have a timeline on a lot of this stuff. It's just things that we know that we're going to be working on. We never really give out set dates.
Oh,
Look,
not
it's you.
tomorrow.
Aw. Okay, now we can watch the stream on the stream.
Wait, what is this of? When did I record this? Oh, I remember this.
I don't even remember.
I remember this now.
I think it was like later on.
Lucas also says, are there
Yes,
any
this is
plans
it.
for like Lewis
towards having
script?
a
Oh,
greater proportion
here.
better adapted individuals for that environment. So Fix and I have produced a machine, or a setup over here, which
Oh no.
is designed to simulate this process. Exactly. So what it does is we've got a background here. It simulates evolution in
Really?
coloured squares. We're doing that basic. The idea is that you've got kind of like a background color, and when we start it up, it'll spawn a population of some colored squares on the top. And each kind of cycle going through it, we check to see if the squares live or die. And the survival chance is based on how similar the color of the square is to the background. So you can think of it as the closer they are to the background, they're sort of better camouflaged, so the invisible predator that's coming to kill them finds it harder to see them. We then allow squares which have got an empty space next to them to reproduce, and the children somewhat inherit the color of their parent with a sort of little bit of mutation in the color as well. And as we run through cycles of this, generally the squares which have color which is more distant from the background, they tend to be the ones that die off, leaving and slowly the population as a whole evolves towards against background. So I'm just going to set this slightly differently.
So he's gonna show like all the orbs and how they're.
question over here. What did you ask, Joris?
Well, I was curious how
Here, let me
they
like
were
skip
curious how-
in front of it.
Yeah, let's show the simulation.
In
I just want to get to the simulation.
red, green, and blue. So in what we can do, RGB space, yeah. So for any color we can, and what you'll see is over time, they will kind of converge on where the target is. So hopefully now, if I start it off, we shouldn't have too many issues.
Nem, thank you for the follow.
Is it running?
It's alive!
Yeah,
It's
it's
alive!
running.
Simulating.
So what you'll see is, in the beginning, there's quite a lot of variation, but over time, they will kind of converge towards the target.
And that's
As we run
because
forward.
divergent ones are being killed and matching ones are surviving.
Die very often, but these ones are not dying at all.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
Hopefully,
Dark, it's Cecil.
hopefully that answers kind of your question there, Ark. of like showing off that. Otherwise, we'll be keeping that going. This whole stream is about 3 hours long.
I have no idea
Yes.
what I just looked at.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm
It's-
sorry.
It's science.
Evolution of colors.
Elaborate auto chess. 50-dimensional.
I just saw a ball floating around.
Hey, well, at least it answered that. It was exactly what Ark wanted to know. That's why I kind of showed it. Someone
We actually
made
have
a
a-
synth
but-
on Neos? Question mark. Can we see a demo of it, or is it private? A synth? I'm pretty
I
sure.
don't think it's published. They just did like
Yeah.
a video of it.
Yeah, it's just a video.
But I'll post a link to the to the stream that we just showed. Like if you want to watch it in full, I'm gonna post it there.
So I'll post that right now if you guys want to watch that later.
There we go.
As well as I think that world you can have access to, right? For what they were having that for that player model, or was it not open?
I'm not sure. Like I don't know if they published it.
Freaky says, will the physics engine capabilities be integrated with logic system, like spawning in new objects, setting their physical properties? I would imagine so. I would
Yes.
imagine it would be exactly like that.
We already actually have like some integration where you can like apply, for example, forces on the like character collider, because pretty much like the one that's like responsible for locomotion. This is like a physics dynamics. Also, it's very like special purpose. But it pretty much has all the properties. It like computes velocity. It doesn't compute torque. That's like constrained and.
We also got
but
this as well. Here, let me spawn this out for you, Frox. Here, I'll put the camera right here. This is also something that's a little bit kind of like using physics and logics that Coffee and Toxic Cookie made out, which is beer pong.
That's actually really cool. Like it's.
Yep. So we can have a beer pong table. We can even have a reset button, and I can grab onto, the object right here and start. So you can see, boom. And that's using physics using logics to make this ball bounce right now, including having a respawn that spawns it back up right here. Oh, missed.
Thing is lagging behind for me so much.
Oh, is it lagging fine for you? I can see pretty well.
Probably because I'm European ping right now.
Yeah.
I'm European as well.
I've probably got a trash connection.
I'm winning. Theo's like, what? Next, I challenge you. Yes, Theo, you can absolutely challenge me. After the stream, we can definitely hang out.
Oh.
Just use aimbot.
Just use aimbot. Yeah, I don't think that works in VR.
Well, you can do this.
No, it does. No.
Spexix says, oh wow. Wow, Frox. Do not recommend drinking while actually playing this in VR. I don't recommend drinking in VR either.
Nope.
Maybe on one certain occasion, sure, why not, but, I don't really like drinking too much myself, but throw this around, it's definitely fun. Yeah, you can drink water. Yeah, you can, every single time we get cut, then you have to drink water. That'll work out.
Bro, I drink all day. Water, that is. For legal reasons.
Oh, I didn't get it. Oh, no. Hugo says, drink ranch dressing. Maybe for 3,000 followers. There you go.
Yeah.
Not sure Nems is asking if there's a limit to the asset size, or is that only basically limited to the user ability to handle the assets?
We don't really have like any like limits that that would be like sort of like artificial in a way. So like the main limits like you encounter are actually like on how much your system can handle. But if you're like making anything to be used like in public, like it's definitely good like to consider how much like geometry, how much like behaviors, how much like textures you end up using, because it will like affect people's performance like negatively.
I've imported 2 gig OBJ files before, and amazingly it all went fine. So yeah, you can go crazy.
2 gig OBJ files.
Yes. I don't typically recommend it for public worlds, but it's
Ooh,
possible.
nice shot, Frox.
Okay, textures or
No, it was a 16 million try terrain.
okay.
Okay.
Just only 15 million.
It's really good, like if you want.
Thanks
to,
for giving us popcorn, Will.
If you want to visualize like 3D scans, for example.
Whoa! I think that zoop messed me up.
Yeah, it's advantage.
It's like for normal beer pong, people have to like worry about, you know, going like this with over their hand. For us, we have to worry about getting zooped.
Yes, or spun.
Yeah. Oh, that one's good. There you go.
Oh, no.
Aimbot. Aimbot activated. Woo!
If you got the ball and you get flipped or
Oh,
something,
no.
you throw it straight into the other side.
Beaned.
Exploding.
Poor Beaned. And that's how I won.
Actually, that genuinely scared me because I
GG.
didn't hear the...
Oh, and Frox exploded now.
That actually
Had to happen.
because I lagged a bit. I only
Exploded.
saw the explosion. Oh man.
But it's really cool. Like, is it like fun? Like seeing like people.
Yes,
like,
we do.
actually,
We do have beer
build
pong
their
tested, but
opposites.
I can't give out this table quite yet. It's still being worked on by Toxic Cookie and Coffee.
Isn't this from
But
his Null Club?
yeah, this is from his null club, and he let me use it for, you know, testing out stuff. But it's gonna be yeah, not educational, but even like right now, just showing it off real quick. But they're gonna make it once they make it public. They already said that it's fine that we're gonna be adding it to the games folder in the publics folder. So we'll be getting that going.
That makes sense.
Yep. That way anyone can spawn it out in any world. And I even said that if they want, they can put their credits on there as well. Extreme Beer Bong, a battle to the death. I think it's Pong, not Bong, but okay.
Maybe they're taking the front thing.
I'm not allowed to bring bongs on stream, right, Frox?
No.
He's like, no.
Like,
It's not a bong, it's an elaborate vase.
Well, okay. Yeah, I'll have to bring bonks though.
Yeah, this is just where I keep my
Bonks?
jewel-ended
Oh yeah,
vase.
bonks. Here, wait, bonk me again.
Nope.
Bonk.
Well, too late.
Angel says, next, what do you think about my idea above Sea of Thieves? About Sea of Thieves. I didn't really see... Oh, wait. Granted, my... On a side note, I have been watching Sea of Thieves gameplay, and I must say it would be one of the most amazing games if it supported VR. At least recreate a Neos. I'd love to explore the Seven Seas and watch the waves hit the hull of my ship. Yeah, I mean, already we have that boating world demo, so that alone is something that's pretty cool that we already got. But yeah, I think that could definitely be recreated inside of here, especially with how we have now world calling in a way. Just with our meta movie experience, we have all those different worlds now just inside of one world, so it definitely is possible through like a calling system, sure, to have lots of open space and area. Thanks, Will. Thanks for the boop.
Yeah.
Poor Bean.
I can see my own teeth. That's weird.
Like anyone who gets into camera gets bubble-headed.
Yeah. Thanks for that, chat.
Shorty.
What? Go back to the camera. Zoom. Oh, thanks, Rex.
Oh.
Wait, so if I get this
Parts.
right, are we going to like, are you going to work on physics now, or is there still menu stuff
there's-
to do? Because
there-
oh.
I think on Frox's side, there's still a little bit more menu stuff and a little bit more UI stuff to be done out.
I bet, because well, like there's some stuff that needs to be still done, right? I mean.
Oh, 100%. Like, and
imagine.
even when we're working on the benefits, we're still not entirely done with the UI. Like, we're going to be going back to it and working on the friends and the inventory and a whole bunch of other stuff that has to get done out. It's more of us like now just kind of like taking a break away from
Just
the
for
UI.
optimization.
Yeah, and also for optimization, because it's going to mean a lot more players inside the world with that new framework. So we figured like that's a higher
It's also
priority.
like, it's not just a part of it like that might be like included. It might not actually include physics yet or not. So like the main goal is like to do a bunch of like optimizations just to make like things run smoother, and that's gonna be part of it. But we're like not decided on the details yet.
Will the I noticed sometimes right now with the collision boxes, if I move something around quite like fast, the collision box tends to lag behind a bit often. Will that be like fixed, or is that a thing that will be better with the new thing?
I don't think that's like physics itself, but it's probably like something different. But then you like see the details of like the scenario.
Yeah, it's hard to explain.
I get the same thing on my ship. So the ship model looks like this, and then as it moves, the faster forward it moves, the actual collider seems to move slightly behind it. The faster it's going, the further behind it the collider lags, and you can actually tell where it is by trying to grab where you think it should be, and it's still intact, but it's just behind where it should be. The faster it's going, the more it lags behind the actual mesh.
It's probably like some like order of operation things, but like the main thing would be just figuring out like where exactly this is coming from, because it might not be the collider itself lagging, it might be that well, what kind of actually is relative, like so it might be like that the interactions, like your player, like for example, gets updated, they already get like moved like a frame further, and when it checks like for like what you are grabbing, it's still checking against like the old information. So it's probably something that like I do want to like improve like some things, how is it like integrated with the engine, because right now it's a little bit loosely coupled, and I want to like do like a tighter integration for the physics, so like certain things can be updated right away without having to like wait for the entire like loop to process. But I'll have to see like once I'm like reworking it. Might be
because
like
anything that is currently like raycasting and going fast usually messes up in some way, because like when like it detects a hit, it either is already true or a little bit before it, depending on the collider. It's not that big of a deal, it's just something I've noticed.
It's sort of like a order of operation things, essentially. Like when you do the like raycast, you already updated like the position of something, but the physics engine hasn't like updated the positions of the colliders yet.
The bow and arrow that is in the Neos Essentials, don't know like.
Oh, that
why
one's
it's not
completely
really
broken.
working
That
anymore.
one's completely broken. Yeah.
Like that one's raycasting, and it's like it goes far off in the distance first for me, and it's like.
Yeah, some of the
alright, it
Neos
shot,
essential weapons
and
in general, they just have to be fixed out. A little
like
few
it
updates
shot,
kind of messed it
and
up,
then-
including the portal
and then,
gun.
like half a second later, it appears right in front of you because it realizes that it actually already punctured something.
Yeah, I know
It
exactly
also
what
might
you're
be
talking
just
about.
that's probably just like the way like the logic is set up, because it might be like running on multiple users, so like multiple users are doing recasts,
that one
and like one of the
specific is
users
probably-
like it goes through and like another like user like detects like that it hit something, and essentially that like stops logics. But it's hard to say like without like taking it apart and seeing, or having like some kind of like isolated case.
I realize it's a really hard thing to get right, or well, just do it like at all. That like it's good for everyone, but even with people with high ping, it's gonna be difficult. So yeah, I get that. Like,
In a lot of cases, it's like how you like set up like the thing, and like you can like ensure like the things update like in the right order. Then like you don't end up like computing like new updates, like before like the physics engine updates. So it might like also involve like solutions for like so you can actually specify like what's the order of certain things to happen. Because like one alternative would be to actually update the physics engine immediately, but like it requires like expensive recomputation, so that might be like too heavy on the performance. And if you like reshuffle like how things update, like it might just be enough to fix the problem.
Yep, and let me catch up with chat. So thank you, K Jewel for the follow. As Streaky said, would you be open for job applications? I believe that we do have an applications link, right? Don't we have a link for applications? But we're not really searching
for jobs though.
Not for jobs.
Okay. No, like we're not like currently open for that, unfortunately.
Yeah, at least for right now. Also, Kalze, thank you for the follow. Also, Freaky said, why not make all the public folders searchable directory from the inventory instead of having to collect them from everywhere? 100% we are going to be having it set up like that. Once we have implemented the store system through the UI, and once we have an item ID inside of here and set up for Neos, we are 100% will be able to have a way to be able to search all public folders through a directory that can just be here in through the UI that you can just search through and just type in something and look for something specific.
Actually, there are a bunch of like updates like for your like Word browser. Like the new Word UI, like the searching functionality has been improved, and it's actually general, so like it works not technically just for worlds, but also for any items that are like submitted. And it still like needs a few things for that, but like we're essentially gonna build like a workshop on top of that. So like not only that you'll be able like to search worlds, but you'll be able like to search items, and you'll be able like to submit items. And like the inventory itself, it was never like really designed for like sharing things like to publicly. Like so it's kind of like some functionality for that. And like the workshop is like gonna be like the proper solution. Like if you want to publish something and make it like easy for other people to find those items.
Definitely. And Specs says on the topic of employees, I'm curious, how big is the staff for Neos? Like, do we see the whole crew in stream? Probably not. You're probably not seeing everyone. If you really want to see how many people that we have, they're usually inside of our main Discord at discord.gg/NeosVR, at least when they're online. I believe that we have 11 people on the team right now. Yeah, so we have 11 people on the team. So it's still a very, very small team. And yeah, so hopefully that answered your question. Fish Preferred says I've been summoned.
Maybe
I guess you have.
One thing to like mention also like is like that part of like most of the team is like not on a like employee basis yet. So like they're essentially like helping out like on volunteer basis. So they're technically not employees. We do like help them financially like in some cases like when they can, but we're not like in a stage where we could like afford like to have this kind of like team full time.
Yeah, mostly kind of mostly kind of like an internship or a form of volunteer work that people are doing on our team currently, just because we're not having those sorts of funds to be able to like have them as full-on employees. But hopefully, as Neos grows 100%, we would love to have that, and including more help for growing out this project. And if there's also, if for somebody looking at, like I said, advertising out that MMC that's going on right now, the Metaverse Makers Competition, if you really want to try to compete for that, you can try to build out a world inside of here, a character, an item, it doesn't matter what it is, but you can submit it as MMC and it will be, you know, listed as something that you can actually win for a competition, win prize money through Neos credits. And you'll get that as a prize, including a special name tag badge and a trophy if you do win out the competition. So you can even trying to do something like that too if you're looking for something for funds. Yes. Do we have any questions from the crowd that we got right here? You have more questions? Oh. If not, that's okay. That's okay. Do you want to show your gun, Aegis?
Can I have a question?
Yeah, what's your question?
What should I ask?
Yes.
Yes. I'm asking what my question should be. It's a meta question.
It's like,
Nice
can I ask
looking
a
gun.
question?
Nice
You
looking
already
gun.
did.
It's an image of it
Yes.
though. Where's the 3D model?
It's an optimized version of
Aegis, I think Aegis has a mic from you.
You buy it for the soldiers. You have to make
Thank
sure the
you
soldiers
for
always
letting me know.
sideways to the enemy. They just think
No problem.
Okay, this is a gun that Ro and I were working on. Okay. Man, why do I forget my microphone?
You
Damn.
can
Oh, you're okay,
the
dude.
3D model
Okay.
for
Freaky also says,
3D.
speaking about NCR, why is it 0 right now? NCR is
What?
not 0 right now. Right now, 1 NCR is worth
10 cents.
10 cents, and it's actually 0.101, I believe.
It raised. That's the messy.
Yeah, it raised a little bit. It actually went up
like
a
another
bit.
badge.
But you actually have to have
101.
you actually have to have NCR. So probably you're looking at your account and you probably don't have any NCR in your account, and that's probably why you're thinking it's 0. It's probably 0 because you don't have any in your account. So
And if you're wondering about KFC, that's just a testing currency that you can play
yeah,
around with.
the KFC is the testing currency.
Has no worth.
Completely
value.
fake currency.
Yes.
Yep. Spelled with a K.
Yes. Completely with a K.
Yep.
Completely fake credits or currency.
Even the completely is fake.
Or coins.
But I'm very excited about us having a cryptocurrency that's backed out by Ethereum, and I think that's really, really great for allowing an economy to be built out here inside of Neos once we finally do get that store system. No memes, B. No memes! Stop your memes, boy! Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm sorry.
I've got a perfect thing, hold on.
It is
It's unavoidable.
Dingy was like, NCR? I didn't know this was Fallout New Vegas. Oh gosh.
What is this?
Yeah. No memes. No memes at any time. No memes.
Bruh, this is false.
It is kind of false.
All the memes.
Is there current
Just
Ark
saying.
says, is there currently an in-world publicly viewable persistent message board or something similar, or plans of this in the future? I see several uses for this. Yeah, I think actually people have made quite a lot of those things inside of here.
Didn't Dante make one?
Yeah,
Dante
Don.
did one.
Dante made one.
Yeah.
They're like official ones, but you can like make. You also like have like a very active like Discord, like if you want like catch up like with the discussion, the community, and see like what's being worked on and so on.
Yeah. And Freaky says, so NCR will be used like a trading system for creations. Like you could make money by making and selling creations. Absolutely. That's exactly what it's used for.
Yep.
People are already using it for even commissions right now, and people are actually paying others in NCR to help out with stuff, and including for the MMC competition, which you can find more information about on the discord.gg/NeosVR.
It's too many
Yeah,
abbreviations.
it's definitely not MCC, because a lot of people had that labeled as that.
MTC and MC.
Yeah. One thing we could also do in the stream is the stress test, the new World UI, and idea. I mean, there is nothing to actually stress test about the new World UI. It works and runs.
No
anywhere.
stress.
Yes, no stress on the UI. There wouldn't be, because it's all local. When you render out your UI, it's rendering out locally, so it's not going to affect other people.
Do you want to show like more of it? Like maybe like I see there's actually 2 sessions running of MTC avatar creation. And actually, one of the cool things is like that like the new world UI, it kind of like merges information with multiple sessions and the published world into like one item, and lets you like browse it like easily. And if I open it right now, I see 2 sessions MTC avatar creation, 2 sessions of the chill hotel. I cannot show it to you because like it's private to me, but like if you go to yours, like you might be able to show it. And you can actually cycle between like those different sessions.
Yeah, so let me show that off real quick. So I'll open up my world's UI, and then I'll go to everything, and then I'll click on. You can see under here, under this tab. Let me actually show my laser, and go into smooth POV. So under the MTC avatar creation right now, there's 2 sessions open. It'll show you right there 2 sessions are open. I can click on that, and I can click on this world's icon right here, and you can see I can join these 2 different sessions, and we can even peer into there, see what they're doing with that session, and then click on that one, peer into there, see what's going on with that session. But you can click join for each session that's on the list. So if there's a whole bunch of different worlds that are opened up by, and it's the same world, you can just join all that different list of different sessions and have them opened up.
You can also start your own, like, if you want to.
Yep, you can click on new session all the way at the top as well, and that will start your own custom session. Hopefully
Can
you
you
guys
also
can see that.
show the shortcut, like the description and users in the compact view?
Yeah, that's what I'm showing right now. I'm showing the description
Oh, I see.
and session information, that tab for active sessions, showing that all out on stream.
No, I mean like in the compact view, like when you press the red X.
Oh, so okay, I'll hit the red X, and yeah, and then I can close a world as well, right?
Yeah, no, I mean like just click on the world so it shows the compact view.
Okay. Yep, I clicked on that.
And then like, do you see like there's like this little like arrow like in the upper left corner?
Yeah, I'm showing that. You can click on that. So let me show that in a world that has a little bit more people. So you can click on this, and you can see right here there's a person that wouldn't be my friend, a person who isn't inside the world, one of my friends that's in the world, another one of my friends that are inside the world, and a user that's one of my friends but is not inside of that world. So you can actually see who is actively in that world and who's not in that world, but just by clicking on the users. And it'll show, depending on its highlighting or if it's grayed out a little bit more, if the user is inside of there or if they're not inside of there, or if they're your friend or not.
Epic.
Yeah. Well, it says
There's
pretty
like some
impressive.
advanced
Yes,
like search
absolutely.
options as well. Like if you click custom, like there's like a lot of different options you can use, like for filtering and so on.
Yep. Bunch of different custom options. As well as I think like down the line we will be having an area for just submitted worlds, right? Or something to that
Yeah.
effect. Yeah. And that
Which
will
is
be in
another like,
between.
interesting question, like what kind of categories like would you like to see, because there's a space to add a few more, so I think like some interesting ones.
Definitely an area for favorites. I think favorited worlds would be a really good
Favorited, like that requires like implementation of a new system though, so
Oh,
like, it will
really?
take a little bit. Like
Okay.
because right now we don't have a way to favorite worlds, so that needs to be added first.
Okay, so that makes sense. So, but at the very least, though, just having that area where you can click all recently submitted worlds and seeing all those worlds is going to be really great than just having for everything. Because right now I feel like we have everything that we really do need. We have the games area, art, tutorials, education, social, friends sessions, active sessions, and the featured. The only thing that we're really missing is, that one. So,
Submitted.
but I'm super happy about this though, you guys, because this is going to mean a lot of an easier time to actually start, being able to have people join and find other users without them having to use a whole bunch of world orbs. They can actually see and have it a lot more organized out for them.
That's what design like to make it also like much easier, because like one of the problems we identified like when new users come to Neos is they would like go to the old wars menu, but it one only started new sessions, so like every single war would be empty.
Oh.
And we would get like a fair bit of like negative reviews, people saying like Neos is empty, even though like there were like a bunch of people online at the time, like in public worlds. But the problem is like they couldn't find them, but they would like start their own sessions, they would leave, and this kind of changed like the whole impression. There are also like a lot of different ways to operate. So like if somebody wanted to join sessions, they had to use the session joiner. If they wanted to find a world, they had to like use the old world menu. And if they wanted to switch to another world, they had to like open like this the whole other menu on their hand, and like it had like a whole different way of operation. And there was, like,
now we can just go to the everything's tab and just hit X and close out a world whenever we need to, just like right from here. But somebody actually had a pretty good question in talking about like facets. This whole system right here is actually off of the facet system. So if I turn on the facet UI edit, I can actually grip and pull off this as a facet. So all of these are off of the facet system for the world's UI. I can grip and pull stuff around. I can move things around if I want to and place them around where I want. Right now this is a whole button, so I can't really place that right there, but you can see this is all facets that we can all have editable and move around and make it the way that we want it to be.
Yes.
So
it's also designed so like you can extend it, so like if you, or even like modify it. So you can, for example, let's say you wanted to change the filtering menu. You could actually take it edit bar, or you can even like build your own and like do whatever logic on you want with it. and it's using a new system called like dynamic variable system to sort of like link it up. And if you like set it up the same way, you can actually like replace the existing menu. And for some of the like more general pieces, like for example the search bar and the paging, those are essentially generic, like they're not even written specifically for the Word UI, but they're generic facets and they can be used for searching and paging results on anything. So like once we rework the friends menu, once we rework the inventory, they're gonna utilize the same facets, and that way like we get a lot better like code reuse, like we don't try to write the same thing over and over again. It also like allows modularity, so like we can actually, for example, if we make better search bar, we can like just swap out, or you can swap it out, like it makes the UI all the more customizable for you. Or even if you are building your own UI and you need like search functionality, or you need like a search bar, you can take it and put it there, and you don't have to write your own. So that way like the entire UI is designed to be a lot more like modular, a lot more extensible, a lot more like easier for us to implement, because if it's easier on our end, it means the UI is gonna be better, because we can like focus more on just making the UI more functional and making it more polished, rather than just like constantly writing a lot of code just to get the UI to work, which was one of the problems with the old one.
Yeah, and also for you saying, how do I build my own facets? So that's a little bit of a more complex question, and it would be kind of hard to like show this out just on this stream. But I believe that there are tutorials out there that do show how to create your own facets and even put on your own logics of doing at once. But I can even make it go on Frox's view if he wants to show off some stuff with facets.
Well, the simplest thing to get started is like if you grab the developer tooltip and you open the menu, create new, and go to object, and then there's facet. And this is like a template that you can use to essentially build your facet. It has like this, replace this. And you can pretty much like do whatever you want. Like you can build your own logic, you can build your own, make it do whatever you want. And it's all like contained as a facet. So like if you look at the top, actually need to go one higher. There's a component called facet. You can also configure this, because like facets, they define how they like fit into like the modular UI. So you can define like what size they should be, what preferred like sizes, what aspect ratios they should be, if they should be like constrained to particle aspect ratios. You configure all of this. You build on like whatever behavior, you build it here, and then you just save it into your inventory. And if you spawn it out, you'll be able to place it into your dash. So for actually building like some behavior, there's like a lot of tutorials. There's actually Purple Prime, like was here, is making a lot of cool video tutorials on like building in Neos. You can find a lot more like in the Discord as well, or you can just like ask around like in the community, like people show you how to make stuff in Neos. So the principles are pretty much the same as like building anything else in Neos. So there's like any tutorial you find like on that will help.
Yep. So hopefully they answered your question. Oh. Okay. What are you spawning in the background there? My gosh.
Somehow it fits.
I believe that's it.
Yeah, somehow it does. Love you too, well. So, we are going to be ending the stream pretty soon, though, you guys. Still about 15 more minutes until the stream is over with, so definitely get more of your questions in. If we missed any of your questions, chat went by pretty fast, so probably just like retype out any questions that might have gotten missed. Liz says, could you run functions on your active avatar from the facet / dash, like press a button in your dash and then it will change a part of your avatar's changes colors?
Not yet, but that's planned. Like the main thing for that is because like the dash, it's technically a separate world. It's like one called user space, and right now there's like no way, at least not directly, to communicate. And like people have been making some like crazy solutions, like going like to a web server or something. But there's like a plan on adding like a way so you can actually send like impulses and send like certain values to your avatar from the private UI. So that will enable functionality like that.
Yep, and we got a highlight message from Ark. Speaking of sessions / worlds, I noticed you can have multiple open and quick switch between. Awesome, by the way. Does this in active world use the same amount of resources as an active one? Is this dependent on if there is currently using it? Actually, not that much as you would think. You can actually have a lot of worlds open and they're not going to take up the performance. So if you were, let's say, in one world that was really laggy, if I was to go back to my private world, I'd be running at max frame rate right now. So the performance isn't carried on by how many worlds that you have open, but it can slow down a little bit if you have a lot of them open.
It takes a little bit of a performance. Like there are like some things that still run, but a lot of them essentially, a lot of things that run that take like majority of the performance. Like it's not as big performance impact. One thing that gets affected the same is memory usage though. So like if you have like if the world has like lots of assets, those assets they will stay in memory, and that way like that way essentially like. It kind of depends on your system. If you have like a lot of RAM, like NVRAM, like then it's not going to be as big of a issue. If your system doesn't have as much memory, like you might want to close those worlds.
Yes.
What?
Oh. Just our community having fun with our in-world creation tools, right? As usual, the most craziest of things being built inside of Neos that don't make sense, but make perfect sense in the long run. Is this what we're going to be having for our Halloween tree, or are we going to be having that for Halloween?
This specifically?
Yeah, that. We're going to use that for Halloween. No problem, Mark. I'm glad to answer any questions for you.
It is beautiful.
Wow. Really, Frox? Oh my gosh. Yeah. I hate that tool so much. I freaking despise it. It's a freaking mean freaking fart shoot tool. I hate it. Hate it so much. Huh? Look at the window.
Oh.
No.
That fits really well.
That's so stupid.
No, just matches.
Yeah, don't worry, you guys. We can make the stream go as derailed as possible for the last 10 minutes. I don't care. My gosh.
This is my time.
My time to shine. Yeah. Don't go too crazy now. Don't like freaking crash the whole session. Next one, can you say, "I must go now. My planet needs me," and then fly off? Sure.
Oh wait, I've got a thing for.
I must go now. My planet needs me.
Oh, he made the camera follow him. No, that's not how you do it.
Oh, that's not how you do it? Oh, I'm sorry. Here, wait, let me
that's
redo
not
it.
How you
oh,
do
what?
It.
Oof. Oof.
Oh, there we go.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
I have now become. Oh.
Okay, here, wait.
I have become ceiling.
I must go now. My planet needs me. There you go.
There we go.
Better.
Oh wait, maybe here.
Whoa. Gory, I like your character. I like that it's got 4 legs.
Aw.
Can I see you walking around? Nice, nice.
Oh.
That's pretty cool.
It happens.
Yeah.
It was really hard. I tried and failed miserably.
I know, it's like the boat.
Add that as a permanent feature. Oh gosh. How do you save changes to your avatars like tool shelf positions and the name tag fonts and colors? So the name tag changing is done through an option. Inside of here, it's usually like a component to like add in. I would say that would be like a really good thing to like actually come inside of here in Neos, and there's a lot of people in the community that are really willing to like help you to make out like a custom name tag if you want one. For example, Rico has a custom name tag that they've got made out, as well as Enverex. And you can, you know, we allow people to have that customizability inside of here. as well as to change the tool shelves. I'm not sure there's really a way to change you can change the position of the tool shelves and have that saved. Just be sure that you resave the model.
You can like change like the anchors for like the tool shelves, like their positioning.
Yeah.
So the same like with the tooltips and the graph spheres.
That would be a really good thing. Just, you know, comment here inside of Neos and we'd be able to help you out with that sort of thing. It's pretty easy though. Their new mascot Rook. Oh gosh, I hope not.
Make that as your stand.
Yes, it should be that.
What the heck, Frox?
What?
Why is that thing on a collar?
I don't know. I found it this
You
way.
want to take your bread cat out for a walk? No.
Oh my gosh. You gotta take your bread cat for walks. Walkies in the tree.
That's a question for us, actually. Oh. I wonder if it's actually possible that anyone's actually run like a headless server on like a Raspberry Pi. But
maybe.
No, not right now. Like there are certain like native libraries that like would need to be compiled for the architecture. I was like interested like I would like recommend like making like a GitHub issue about it, because it's not probably not that much work to do it. It's might like interesting to do, but like there's like not much interest in like not gonna probably prioritize it, and it's not anytime soon.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay, guys, we're coming close to ending off the stream. If you have any other final questions, please let us know now and we can answer them. But other than that, thank you so much for tuning in for this special Friday stream. Also, looks like Prowl Prime has a question. What's your question, Prowl Prime?
How many lights are there?
Inside of this world?
Four lights. There are 4 lights.
See? 4.
I'm confused.
What do you mean?
There are 4 lights.
This is a meme.
There are 4 lights.
Oh.
Don't worry, Prime.
Hugo asks, what is my question? I'm not sure.
Oh.
But yeah, as well as if you guys have any more additional questions or might have want to know any more additional information, we also have a questions and help section inside of our Discord. Remember, it's discord.gg/NeosVR, or you can just join by clicking on the link that's in through the buttons. As well as definitely help and support us out on Patreon. It's really amazing that we've been having all this support now, and that really helps us to continue out this project and keeping it going and having more support out for you know, all of you guys, because we really want the amount of support that you guys are giving us as community to give back to you and be able to have these like special events and also different stuff that we can do that's going to be fun for our community and really give back, because you guys have given us so much for helping us for this point, and we're super thankful for that.
Yes, thank you so much.
Angel says, copy my question above. Let me see, Angel. Let's see. The problem is with questions is they get moved out too quickly. Like when I try scrolling up, I can't like keep it there on the section, unfortunately.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Let me take a photo of it.
Ark says, is there a way someone without disposable income could help other than sharing?
Cool stuff.
Yeah, if you just come and hang out inside of Neos, build some things, make worlds, hang out with people, tell your friends about it. You know, there's many things that you can do to help support out Neos that isn't monetarily. And it is completely free to download Neos too.
Edit the wiki, make tutorials. Make content.
Yeah, that too.
Cool stuff.
But you're yeah, that too.
So I'm trying to find like
it looks like that seems like all the questions in chat. I'll give it 1 or 2 more minutes, and then we'll end off the stream. And again, thank you guys so much for tuning in for this Friday stream. We're also going to be having another one for next week and really showing off the details for the whole finger tracking, that what you can do with the Vive headset and the Index. Love you as well, Virtual Rock. Have a great Friday. Enjoy your Friday, you guys. Get some water, get something good to eat, get something healthy. Will, thank you for the 5 bits. Very kind of you. Hugo says, Nexu, can't you change when the chat should stop scrolling and at the cog below where you enter the text? Unfortunately not. I can't change the chat going too fast.
I'm probably gonna adding this though, like when it's like a device updated. So this.
Yes, have a good one. Are you happy?
No.
Have a good one as well. Neos is my future too, Ark. I love Neos. Neos is incredible, and so is this brilliant developer that we have right here, Froxius, that works every single day on it, coding-wise, and it really puts his heart into it, and same with the rest of us here, not only just developers here on the team, but also our community. The community has a really great heart and has really works together and tries to help each other out, so very thankful for our community. And yeah, see you later, Will. It was nice having you here. Okay. Say goodbye to everyone. There's Cameron. Au revoir. No problem, Mark. Yep, he says thank you for answering the questions. The Neos community is badass. I look forward to learning a lot and making a lot. Awesome. Me too. There's always something to learn for Neos. Always something unique and different to do. Au revoir. See you, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Somebody joined last minute.
Okay, and the stream is done.
Cool. Is there anyone streaming Neos right now that we could host?
I'm not sure, let's see. I don't know what one was streaming. Nope. Just us.
Oh.
Just kidding, it's still streaming right now.
Is it really?
Yeah. I was just joking with you to see what you'd say. Okay.